Anyango weaves and twists and turns. It's not quite spinning gold thread from straw, but it's close. This is the first step in a craft that has spawned an industry, and it's an industry that supports an entire community here in Western Kenya.
I have for long supported my family by harvesting papyrus reeds and making household items out of it. But since the hyacinth came, I saw an opportunity. I now harvest hyacinth and we can use it to make artifacts and household items.
The 55-year-old makes enough money to provide for 6 children and 2 grandchildren. And she does that by working with one of the biggest threats to Lake Victoria. You don't have to journey far to find it. This is the water hyacinth, up close and nasty. So you can see up close it looks really well established and rooted to the bed of the lake, but it's really merely just floating. And it stinks. It blows in quickly, blown by the wind, blanketing the water, and kills off marine life wherever it settles.
Water hyacinth has both environmental, what we call ecological challenges, it has social challenges, and it has economic challenges. Now, environmental challenges, for example, the water here. You can't actually drink the water here. It's so polluted because of course, the decaying water hyacinth. And again, even in terms of the fish species, the biodiversity has been affected because organisms in the lake are not used to living with the wind, because again, remember, it is not native. It's a weed that came in. Now, if you look at the social aspect of the water hyacinth, things like diseases, there is a lot of bilharzia that is being caused by the water because snails love this water hyacinth so much. Water, you cannot access water. The water utilities are using a lot of money to treat this water here. And again, in terms of even transportation within the lake, our fishermen here depend on the fisheries. Getting into the lake has almost become impossible. So the fisheries have been affected by maybe almost to 30–40%.
The plant's actually from South America and was introduced here in a botched attempt to preserve fish stocks.
Our environment to date is unkept. In other words, it's overexposed unnaturally, because before the environment was covered by vegetation considerably, and the activities of human beings were very minimal.
But the hyacinth also is a potential fuel for the economies of the Lake Victoria region.
Water hyacinth can be used for biogas generation, methane. The leaves are very good fodder for animals. The cows eat it massively. So if we knew just when to harvest it for weaving material, when to harvest it for fodder, when to harvest it for manure, we would be very wealthy people. And you know, when you remove this, the lake remains cleaner.
At Anyango's Craft Center in Western Kenya, the weed is used to make furniture, fuel, and trinkets for tourists. To Margaret Anyango, hyacinth is simply a gift, not a curse.
I know there has been an outcry about the hyacinth. I wish it could grow on my farm. If it is removed, I don't know what I would do. How would I feed and support my family?
Anyango is ahead of the field in making the most of this menace. But in time, others around Lake Victoria surely will have to follow.
Commercializing on water hyacinth is banned in all 5 countries. But we have not banned using the byproduct of water hyacinth for commercial use. We need the private sector to come on board, because this is not just a government, it's not just a government problem, but it requires all diverse stakeholders to come address it.
Soni Methu, CGTN, Kisumu, Kenya.